Guys, Deluded Lagoon, I know I talk about young players a lot, and I know at Arsenal or any club, well, I think collectively a lot, especially our defensive prospects, excluding Bielik, there's not much to write home about. But collectively at any big club, not just Arsenal, there's always going to be a lot of talented players. Now, we know talented, well, I certainly believe talent is overrated. It's what you do with it. I mean, if there's a talented player, but the facilities are wrong, the manager doesn't want to give trust, all of these sort of injuries, all of these sort of external factors can lead to a player not making it. Now, you guys know, like I just said, there's numerous good academy players at our club and every other club. I thought, let me, and I always give you guys know, some of you comment that I talk about young players a lot. That's because I like youth players. I really like, if I was a manager, I'd like to just get players from X, Y, Z and train them up and play them. Believe there's too much money in the game. Don't get me wrong, splash that cash. But yeah, so we might as well talk about some of the young pros. Now I could talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about the ones that are near enough on the cusp or on paper on the cusp or were involved in preseason. Start with Bielik. Every preseason he's around. We've got to be patient. He's long been a player that's been talked about. He's been here for a couple of years now. Every year he's showing elite mentality. He's the captain, but he's still raw. He still needs to. For me, I can understand why he stays. There's one side of me, I don't want to loan him out. I want to keep him here, let him train with the first team, get games, possibly be on the bench and things like that. But on the other hand, we need him to play games. A move to Germany broke down. There was talk about Norwich. Personally, I felt he could have stayed at Birmingham another year. I would like him to play in the Premier or top division, but Harry Redknapp was playing him. They were playing free at the back. So, yeah, he was doing decent. So, yeah, he could have meant as he meant to go on. Why I say he needs experience the most, because he needs to be exposed. Like, he needs to learn from his mistakes, and he's at that stage where you have to, it's self-discovery. I mean, every manager could tell you need to be here, because if you get caught, we're going to concede a goal. But if you directly make that mistake, you know I'm never going to do that again, because there's no hiding place in men's football. Academy football, you can make all the mistakes you want, but you cannot make mistakes in front of 50,000, etc., because he will know you've made that mistake. Of course, he will do them things because he's a young player, but that's what needs to happen. I always say for every player, especially defenders, young defenders, concentration. There's been times in pre-season, 2 years in a row now, concentration has let him down. Even if I go back to the Derby and City under 23 games that just went, he was fantastic in both. He played very good in both. He not made a number of challenges. He showed his calmness in and out of possession. He brought it out from the back. There was a lovely incident against City where the striker was closing him down and he turned at ease rather than most people that panicked and cleared it. They're all good, but there's times when he gets caught out of possession. There's been times when he's been caught in possession. All of these little things need to be ironed out before he can command the first team spot. Now he's young. With the only way to get experience, like you see with some people in society, the only way to get experience is to be given a chance. People want experience before he's got it, and that's Bielik to a T. But let's give the guy time. Either promote him to the first team, let him properly be around, or send him on loan. Donyell Malen, I love him. I've got high hopes for him. I don't know if it happens here, but I do think he's going to have a career at the top level regardless, because we've shown we're retarded when it comes to young players. I like his mentality. He said he could have displayed and shown a bit more quality on the loan, on the tour and things like that. He's probably not ready, in my opinion, yet. He's still a bit raw. He needs to come a long way physically, decision making. He's a very good player, but this is first team. There's no hiding space. Like I said, decision making can be a bit easy to take off the ball. Positioning and all of these things, he's probably not ready. It's probably best to just wait another 12, 18 months, pre-season, we go again. But he's someone I have high hopes for, and I would like to see him involved in the Carling Cup at least this season. But in regards to a regular first team spot, probably too early. He wasn't involved in the oh yeah, he's also said this is where I belong. When he was interviewed after the game, he said this is where I belong. I can show better. This is elite mentality. He relishes chances like this, and that's one thing that will stand you in good stead for a career at any level, and more so a big club. So that's him. Dragomir, he weren't involved, but he's someone I have high hopes for, especially now you're seeing Benesia and a number of academy centre mids and players like that go on loan or permanent. He's someone I've got a very big hopes for. But he's young. He's got to establish himself in the under-23s properly first before he does any of the things I think he can. But if he does this, maybe next season he goes on the tours or be involved in pre-season. Reiss Nelson, we know we need a winger. Personally, I think we can leave the winger spot open in regards to him. Let's take it easy. 17 turning 18. We cannot expect fireworks. But I'd leave it open because there's a spot there for him. I believe he should travel with the first team, especially now because you're seeing how poor our bench is. Get little 5 minutes here, little 2 minutes, little 10 minutes here and there. Get him up to the pace with the physique, with the decision making, because he doesn't seem overruled. But now it's all about experience. We need to bring him in. He's going to obviously get his chances in the Europa League, in the Cup, maybe even the FA Cup and things like that. But that's all for him. He's probably the closest. As is Maitland-Niles. He needs to I know he looks like right now, it looks like he have to get games as a fullback. I believe he could play centre mid, especially if we change to 4-3-3. Another one, he needs to get minutes, man. There's no point promoting Wenger. You see Wenger do this all the time, promoting players and they stay with the under 23s. Either give the guy game time or loan him out or sell him and let him have a career. Because I really believe in Maitland Niles and believe he can have a good career. I like it to be here. So yeah, he's still got a long way to go. Concentration and all of these things, he's still got a long way to go. But him, along with Nelson, probably the closest that should be getting games and should be travelling and considered genuine options off the bench or in the starting lineup, in my opinion. Eddie Nketiah, for the last couple of years after his release from Chelsea, been banging in goals for fun. If you saw his finishes against, I think he scored against Chelsea and Derby. I remember watching him games. Fantastic finishes. He's a good finisher. He's very underrated. He took his chance well. He almost scored that on pre-season, but he's probably another one 12 or 18 months away. I don't think it's going to happen at Arsenal. I'd love it to. But I don't think it's going to happen for him at Arsenal purely because he's a striker and it's hard for any striker or centre mid to make it at these clubs. I do think he's going to have a career. He scores some very good finishes. You see some young players, they score, but it's not really well-taken finishes. This guy is taking real strikers' finishes. He's a good dribbler. He was playing left wing back and them things when he was playing in pre-season, but he took his chance as well. But another one, probably too early. Personally, I'd like to see him go on loan. I don't think it's too early, but I'd like to see him go on loan at the same time because he's banging in goals for fun at under 23, under 18s level. Maybe in Jan, just let him go out for 6 months, let him see what it's like in the men's game and equip himself. Because I believe in him. I believe he's a very good talent. He's going to have a career. I'd love him to have it at Arsenal, but there's many reasons as to why these strikers and centre-mids don't make it here. Joe Willock is not ready, but I rate him a lot. At the end of the season, if you said the under 23 strongest side, he wouldn't get in there. As a result of being involved in pre-season and equipped himself very well, and he came on in the Carling Cup Community Shield. He's now basically, based on the last 2 games, he's starting under 23s. That's what I said in the previous video. He needs to assert himself on that level, which he has. Probably not ready for first team. He can play in the cup, but he's not ready between not being strong enough. I like the way he's actually stronger than he used to be, and he relishes the physical battle for a small person. But what I mean strengthening the size, that he can be too honest in my opinion. Like, he doesn't throw his weight around. He gets weight thrown around on him. He doesn't leave any dirty challenges. I'm not advocating this, but this is the men's game. Feel he plays within himself a bit too much to be currently ready to play in the first team. If you look at the Emirates Cup game when he played, you can excuse him for being overruled, but he was playing in himself. He didn't want to make a mistake. He was being caught out. He was being bullied. He's come a long way. We need to take our time because he's one of the youngest in his age group physically, but he looks like he can have a decent career. It is too early. I can't understand why he's in the under 23s on first team already, if you believe the website. But yeah, he's doing the right thing, inserting himself in the under 23s, getting called up to the under 19s with Nelson and Nketiah, and I'm forgetting someone else, maybe Josh De Silva. I'm actually forgetting who the other person is. So yeah, man, these are the only players that are really on the crust. There's a couple players here and there, Trey Cole, a number of the first-year scholars are very good. We don't know. Like I said, talent is just all. You need the chances, you need the facilities, you need the luck, avoiding injuries and things of that nature. We don't know, guys. But yeah, man, these are the guys that, based on what's happened, are the closest, excluding Dragon May. I just had to plug him. But yeah, guys, to Ludwig, I'm signing out. Get in the comments, subscribe. Thanks for watching.